All right, Facebook fans. Today I'm getting back to more stories about what makes veterans, the way that they are. But before I do that, I'd like to make a special thing about my family. I have the world's largest family, 2.2 million people. But with these videos, I talk about that a lot. So I think it's important that I take a little bit of time and let my wife know how special she is to me. Because since the day that I met her, it's always going to be me and her against the world. I love you, baby. And don't ever think that just because I have a large family and I've been doing, this stuff to help promote awareness, that I've forgotten about you, because that'll never happen. All right, on to what happened yesterday. I broke from, telling stories to covering a topic that kind of shadowed what I talk about as far as veterans are concerned. So today I'm actually getting back to the stories, and this one is I had a flashback yesterday, and I want to tell you guys why and what caused it, so that you all know in the future why these things happen. Yesterday when I was out driving to work, I passed by a dead animal, and obviously that happens. We drive by these things all the time, and normally it doesn't bother anybody except veterans and puppies, apparently. All I have to say is, so I was driving, and every veteran in the world goes, "Oh, yeah, I've had that flashback." We all kind of understand, and it's varying degrees of how bad it affects us. I have some friends that can't drive because the flashbacks are so horrid that they run off the road or just physically shut down. When we first got there, during the invasion of Iraq, we weren't getting attacked through the use of IEDs as much as we were by the time that we left. So in the beginning, we didn't rarely ever saw anything on the side of the road. There was junk, and it's a messy place. There's a lot of trash around, and there's a lot of dead animals and whatnot. And the locals had done a fairly good job of marking where explosives were by stacking rocks on top of each other. And I saw a ton of them. I mean, a ton of them. And more than likely, they were inert landmines or inert... Shush, boy. Brats. Kids these days. Anyways, normally they were for inert or old or, stuff that wasn't being used immediately. And then it started to get worse, and IEDs started popping up that actually were working. And the way that an ambush would work would be they'd set out an IED, wait for a convoy to come by, hit either the lead vehicle or the tail vehicle or somewhere in the middle, make the entire line stop. And as soon as they stopped, the enemy would pop up and shoot up anything that was standing there. Then they got creative. They started putting IEDs in dead animals. And it became so bad that anytime we were out on the road, if we saw anything, I mean anything, tin can, shift to the other side of the road. And that kind of carried over into our civilian lives. I know military posts are very big on making sure that every street is clean. Civilians, not so much. I've seen various things like couch cushions in the middle of the road. Who does that? But that's the reason why I had a flashback, and immediately my heart started pumping. I knew exactly what was going on, so this is nothing new to me. But it still affected me, and my heart started pumping, and I got a little nervous, a little white-knuckled. But, you know, I survived it, and it's not a big deal for me anymore. But it is a big deal for other people. I know we all have flashbacks, sometimes on a daily basis because of things that out in the road, or seeing a dead animal, or God, there's so many different triggers that cause flashbacks. So if you see a veteran driving, please understand that sometimes they're driving while their heart is doing 1,000 miles an hour. Be patient with them and me, because I know we can get kind of crazy. We go 0 to buck nutty in 2.2 seconds, you know. But I figured I'd share that one with you guys today. Remember, we are discussing the 22 challenge, bringing awareness to the fact that veterans are committing suicide at, the VA says, at a rate of 22 a day. I say it's closer to 25, 30 area. Basically 1 an hour. Yeah, another one died. Happens every hour. Seems like that would be something important to people, but doesn't really seem to be. I've been shouting this from the tops of the mountains for 10 years now, and just not gaining any traction. It's funny, I go over to websites like, warehousing websites that sell products for warehouses. They get more shares per day than I do. Warehousing gets more shares per day than I do, speaking about the suicide rates of veterans. If that's not shocking to you, if that doesn't seem fair to you, you're right. This is a topic that has gone under the table for way too long. Way too long. 10 years, I mean, a decade of our lives has been spent yelling about veterans committing suicide. The only way it's going to stop is if you hit that button there, the share button. Do it while you're watching this. It won't stop the video. And start writing every representative. I know the election is coming up. I thoroughly suggest third parties, mainly because the two-party system has had a stranglehold on our government. Our government. For, since George Washington started. And it's about time that we change that. It's about time we have more options available to us. And it's about time we get somebody who will listen for 2 minutes of their time to somebody who's been screaming about veteran suicide for 10 years. We can fix it. This is an issue that is very solvable. I mean, very solvable. We could have no veteran suicides tomorrow if we just all worked together and got it done. Write those people. Write them every day. Write them. I would suggest writing them 22 times a day. One for every person that can't write a letter anymore. Every one of my brothers and sisters. Each and every one of them I would die for. And it really, really hurts to know that they're out there knocking themselves off once an hour. Your average TV show runs about 30 minutes. So every 2 TV shows, another veteran is dead while you're sitting there watching TV. While you're watching TV, I'm betting your hands are free. Let's do some push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I honestly can't remember what day I'm on. I'm going to have to go back and look it up. But I do know the number. Since I started doing these videos, 700 of my brothers and sisters committed suicide. Please, please, for the love of God, help me stop it.